Alright, how's it going, everyone? I am back with more Mathmech, because I just can't put this deck down. I'm between decks, so I keep just playing what's comfortable, and I top-8'd an OTS with it. I believe it was like 30 man, so it wasn't too bad. I don't know, I was delirious and stupidly sick. I don't have any totally dead decks to hand, so I guess I just played what I knew and converted pretty well. I will run my matchups real quick. So played the mirror, got the win. Guy was being pretty heads up and using IP to float into Avramax during my turn. Terahertz outs that, so that was fine. Got the win there. Following that, played against Tearlament. You will see there is not enough tier hate in this deck. It kind of just dies to it. That was something that I had a problem with during the UK Open, which didn't perform out, wasn't up for it. And despite not being up for the OTS, really, things just went my way pretty well. It was Tearlament. After that, it was Ex-Sister. The deck played through Shifter pretty well. Managed to do just enough to get through and got into a position in a dragged out game where I could just kill. I'm pretty sure he took game 1. Game 2 I full boarded. Game 3 that happened. It's been a while since then now. I was sick and then I had a lot on. That was game 1, game 2, game 3. Game 4 was against Artworld, and what can I say except Droll? Droll really overperformed there. I wasn't familiar with the OTS, but apparently the guy I was playing against was insanely good, and I full boarded, and he was like, think I can get through that, and then I drolled him, and he was like, not anymore. So really overperforms. Speaking of, this deck plays through Droll, and I'm going to show you how with a few adjustments and dropping a lot of money on it with this build. Or it has the potential to. You do have to draw a card from deck that we'll get into. And Jesus, what else? The last one was Dragon Link, and dude just destroyed me. I was burnt by then. Manhand trapped me to death. Did really well. Timed his interruptions. Did some really unintuitive hand traps that actually sealed in the game, so 5 did it there. And without further ado, we'll start looking at the cardboard. So, we've got the Circular. It enables so much. It gets you big disruption, although we'll get into it. There is a way that I'm going to be playing it where this, you can do it anyway. You can get drolled and then just do that. The extender to go with it as the send target. We're playing a condensed package. Diameter is fantastic in top decking. Everyone thinks if you top deck Circular, they just lose, and I have had people scoop when like you've shown them the Circular. What is it getting when you're top decking? This is something I've never understood. You kind of need to 2-card with this, unless they're expecting you just have another Sigma, which I have played it with 2 Sigmas before, and like that nets you another body. But like more often than not, you are XYZ going first and linking going second. So I don't know. That's the kill button though. That does so much. Addition is a generic Mathmech extender and Cyberse extender, and so is Subtraction. We're only doing the 2 of each, like I say, condensed engine. Exceed. I've had it where I've drawn 3, so I play 3 because I don't want to draw 2. You draw 2 and you play 2, you're kind of done. The Firewall engine with the Phantom, I have a real love-hate relationship with this. So it gets you Conflict, which people kind of undervalue in my opinion. That Conflict can be an instant win button. Because counter traps that take something out of the game for this and next turn, cracked. But Like, I mean, we only have call by, like, as well as reference, but if you draw one of these, great. That's the ideal situation. If you draw the brick, you can still do it. If you draw both, that's bad. Really bad. It keeps happening to me. Like, very occasionally. I don't know what the maths is on it, but it's happened a non-insignificant amount of times, and to be fair, I play this deck a lot, so I guess. But I'm very much thinking of switching these out for microcoders, because they just do the same thing. Kind of... You don't have to worry about committing them to the field. And this does net you a +1. This is like an absolutely free singularity. Nope. That's the other one. Neo Tempest. Very free Neo Tempest, but you also have to discard off this. You don't with a microcoder. It's so weird. I mean, like, if you just slam both in, then you can combo to High Heaven. These are not spreading because they're super old sleeves and have been played a lot. You can combo to High Heaven, but you really need hand traps this format, I've found. The Conflict, like I say, this makes your board so diverse that you just don't really care what gets thrown at you. If you got the read on something, you can conflict unevenly, and then it's not happening. I have played through evenly Dark Ruler, then had enough to end their turn. A lot of which, the reason being, is Superfactorial. Card's nuts. It's just a Tri-Brigade Revolt, but what it allows is essentially a Trishula with an Omni Negate sat on top of it. And Trishula's up 1. Equation, it's just the Reborn. It's the additional target in case you've drawn this. It is a totally generic extender, and it's pretty good. It also gets you over the line for OTKing sometimes. Let's just move this to the side because this is going to be slightly larger. Hand traps. Ash is great. Veiler is particularly great in this because it's fantastic bridge. Droll is a wind, so you can go through Exceed, so it's not a bad bridge. Imperm, it's too good. Lock down the columns as well. It's Veiler, but better in pretty much every single way, apart from the other synergies within this deck, which I'll get into when we get into the extra deck. But yeah, it's pretty good. For the event, I was playing Druiswurm. I would be playing Crow because it synergizes with this build better. Having the body and having the send, because it's mostly live all the time. You can chew up your own graveyard a little bit as long as you're the one doing it. And you can make those decisions instead of it being done to you. Since I've picked up a Magnamhut, so my current build is just get the Druiswurm out, put the Magnamhut in. This is where I'm at the moment. And they're great, but we're going into a fire format, so they're going to be less great, and Crow will start performing better again. And we've got the Cynet Mining and the Just Search Anything because it's a Cyburst deck card. You can get anything. I swear. There's some really weird bridges that mess me up. So, normally Exceed is your anything bridge. But Phantom, the bane of my goddamn existence, has 2k defense. Oh, 2k attack. And so does Exceed. So, that's another reason Phantom is just a janky bridge as well, whereas Microcoder's great. But yeah, we'll move on to the extra. There's some additional changes as well, which I'm going to discuss in general. So, we've got the Alembertian, we've only got the one. You can recycle it with Phantom. That's the saving grace. If you see fit to, it's never the target, but you can. Laplacian, again at once. If you resolve this, you should win. That should be it. This is an absolute lights out card. If you're timing it right, they're taking up to a -3, but at least a -2, and you're establishing a free negate. Almiraj turns all of those hand traps we were talking about into full Cyburst combo with extenders. Like, depending on what you've got, if you have an Exceed, obviously you're absolutely fine. If you have any of your other extenders, you can do, you can get to Terahertz fairly easily. But yeah, Terahertz is kind of the way you cheat code the deck if you can't get to what you want. You can only really, well, you can do it for 2, but it works out, trust me. I've done it a lot. Helps me play under Droll a lot as well, which has historically been a massive problem for this deck. Link Decoder nets you an extra body. Great. Link Spider. Also, 1-card combo as well. Heatsoul Superfactorial. And route into Little Knight, which we will get into. Link Spider, you can go full combo if they're bad at timing Nibiru. You just do it again. You don't care, you care about your back row. Splash Mage does a reborn, helps you climb. Inverted, gets slept on all the time. This is how you have your cake and eat it with, like, mixing both engines. So, you do all your cyber stuff, and you've got a defenser, or you've got something to search a defenser. You put this up, special it out, boom. Great. The reason that Phantom works in hand without getting your hand size ate up by defenser as well is because you can just do that with Phantom. It just summons a Cyburst from hand. It's bloody brilliant and very shiny. Speaking of very shiny, we've got the Heatsoul. Pot of Greed is great. If you simplify a game state and just keep going with this, you drown them with advantage. They're not coming back. Like, a lot of people are like, I'll just link this off once I've got my draw, or like, I've got into the next turn, it's just material. If you've simplified it, you are probably OTKing. If you are not OTKing, this is going to get you into a position where you are in full control. IP is, for some god-awful reason, a Cyburst, and IP's best mate is Little Knight, so we can abuse this card as well. Unfortunately, we can't do Typhon, but we can do this, and this just takes games. Again, thrives in a simplified game state. Update Jammer, Transcode Talker, and Accesscode are usually the culprits for an OTK combo, but Transcode now does double duty to make Terahertz. And then you're thinking, like, well, you've stuck a Terahertz up, but it's got no protection outside of the battle phase. It's fine. If you've gone through your Phantom, you just put the Transcode back, and you're not too fussed. And then we have the target of the Druiswurm. We're not using Aggregator because it's weird on timing, and the extra deck is so tight that we are siding a Ling. Pretty much put this to however you want. I would suggest you prioritising. Almiraj is never coming out, otherwise you're asking to brick with this. You need it. I would say it's either Lingaribo or Link Spider. If you're confident in going first and they're not running Nib, say they're running something that isn't hand trap heavy or whatever, then Ling's the shout, because you can stick a spell trap negate up at the end and give absolutely zero cares about evenly, because you've got two things that address it then. But otherwise, yeah. You can take the advantage out if you're confident in other aspects. Whatever. Okay, we've talked about Druiswurm coming out. Talked about the Ling. Triple Tax. I'm not sure if these were in the main and Drolls were in the side for the event, but it was something to that effect. Triple Tax, brilliant. Don't know what to tell you. 3 banned cards in one. We've got the back row hate. We've got more hate for fields. and I have done something slightly more interesting. These have come out called by Double Cosmic. Back row hate's great and everything, but in this format right now, Phantasme is absolutely nuts. It single-handedly contests Little Knight, assuming they're not using it for insulation, they're using it to crack your board. Just says no to it. You get to cycle your hand. If my Phantasme is live, I do not care about the Phantom. If the Phantom and the Defenser are in my hand, they're just getting put back. Against Link decks, or anyone splashing Little Knight, which is anyone with enough bank to do so at the minute, because Little Knight hurts unless you just accidentally pulled it. I am quite lucky. Yeah. Unreal. Well worth taking these out, in my opinion. It's been performing stellar. Phantasme is great, and I love that it's back, because I picked these up on reprint, and then they went clean out the format because the master rule changed, and it's been pissing me off ever since that I've never resolved a Phantasme. I've resolved it loads now. Love it. Doggerin. It's Kaiju. You can find it easy. Hurikara. Wouldn't recommend it. You can search it. So you can bait a whole field quite easily. Slam this down and they die. Or slam this down, they nearly die, and you steal the Baron. It's great. So, now on to completing being able to play under Droll. You were always able to give yourself 2 of the 3 bodies. You search your trap, and then you get Drolled. You make Terahertz, you dump your 3rd. But because Circular's at 1, if you search the Circular, that's when you eat Droll. So it leaves you with 2 bodies and access to the Diameter via Terahertz. Now we go with Thrust. If you just thrust for your Superfactorial, some things have changed. You're down a Heatsoul draw, but majoritively you haven't. I only have the 1 at the moment. I am getting 3. I'm waiting on 1 from Moz, because he's an absolute legend and gives the best Christmas presents ever. And then I need to pick 1 up, but right now I'm only going for the ulties, just because the price seems that confused. The secrets will go down if it gets a reprint. These are still gonna stay nice. So, I think there's something that I did want to run through in the sense of a combo, because with Little Knight, Circular is a 1 card, lots of stuff, like I mentioned. So, say you've been hand-ripped for 4, and you go in turn 1, so they have something should be banned, doesn't exist, whatever. You Circular, you send your Sigma, you special your Sigma, you search your Factorial. This is glass, by the way, if you eat any disruption, obviously because it's 1 card. You overlay, you move your mouse out of the way. Into Alembertian. Detach the things. Search for your very standard Mathmech combo Diameter. Normal the Diameter. Get back a card. Link them off into... Where is he? Where is it? Splash Mage. Move your keyboard, because that's obstructing things as well. Splash Mage for Circular. Circular for Decoder. Link those 2 off for Heatsoul. Draw a card for your troubles. I would recommend at this point, after you've resolved Decoder returning, drawing a card, because if it happens to be Defenser, your combo line changes and you get a Terahertz on top of it instead, which is pretty good. It's kind of a must address. So pick your poison. Depends what you think they're doing. Deceive Worm's great. Double attacking at 8k was kind of nuts, but either way. Obviously you can't make Masquerena because you can't make it with links. Alembertian, tribute the Decoder. Special back the Circular for the god knows how many of time. Link into Masquerena because you're Cyburst locked. And then in your opponent's turn, bring them back. Do Trishula things. Hand trap them out of the game, because if you had to just do this and not have any extension, you have 4 hand traps, 2 draws. So, you know, read it however you want. You could have been disrupted. And then when you've burnt your Omni at a good point, Little Knight, banish a thing. Little Knight, banish a thing. It's a lot. It is a lot to wade through, considering it's come from 1 card. Pretty sure I explained playing under Droll fairly succinctly, but like I say, yeah, if you have to search Circular and you have Thrust, just have your board anyway, because if you make Terahertz, then you get to dump your missing pieces. So yeah, I mean, I can do a very quick test hand and then we'll probably be done here. Notably, I will make sure he's linked in the description, but I should be doing a bit of a deck profile with Squire. We've been meaning to collab for a while. Can make it a bit Q&A-ish. It was his OTS that I top 8'd. And yeah, hopefully we can do something there. I'm just talking while I shuffle. Hopefully it's shuffled well. I'll just put Circular to the top, one would hope. Right, it's a Subtraction, Cynet, Exceed, and an Imper. It's not bad at all. You're leading with Cynet, so this is one of those situations where, yes, you could just eat a Droll. So, grab the boy. We'll just shortcut this a little bit. We'll activate the boy. That's not how that do. Whereas the one of, we've been past him. Alright, we'll activate the boy, send Sigma, reborn Sigma, get Superfactorial to hand, and this is resolved. We're pretty happy now, because we're cool. A lot of comments that I've had is, this is still good, question mark, after people have seen full board off it. It keeps catching people out, which I kind of like. But my god, it's being propped up now. This is more refined than I've ever attempted anything to be with this deck. If anything, we kind of might have too many bodies here. So, Splash Mage, Exceed. Realistically, if you're scared of Nibiru, hold your Exceed. But we're not playing against anyone. Do you know what? We will hold the Exceed, because I'm pretty sure we can get everything anyway, and we'll have more opportunities to do it. So yeah, we'll reborn Circular, make Decoder, link them into Heatsoul, shuffle up and draw a card. Do it in front of the camera, so it looks legit, so it's definitely legit. Well, second Exceed, that sucks. But this is why we play 3. You can even have all 3 if you really wanted to. Okay, we're gonna go mega greedy. Well, unbelievably greedy. So, trigger Exceed and trigger Inverted. Just turboed out 3 Exceeds, that's pretty nice. Link 2 of them off for the Masquerena. We'll link those off for Transcode. Bring that back to Transcode. Subtraction to target it. Link all them off. Send the to save worm. Set to. Did we search? We didn't. Get into your opponent's turn. Draw and draw them. So yeah, it's still got gas. You can go a bunch of ways with it. You've still got your spaces free, so you're not gonna mess up with bringing your stuff back. Which is grand. And you do get sent to give this a second attribute, although normally my pick is to unbrick the third Exceed, but that hand was weird. But yeah, that... My mouse is just off to the side now. That's the deck. I'm pretty happy with it. I want to introduce the thrusts. I want to experiment a little bit more with just the refined stuff, like specifically playing under Droll, because it's so weird, this format. It's either a house or it's not, and we kind of justify playing it in this because it's just a Cyburst monster if you will it to be so much. By playing Almiraj and not needing normal summons all that much. Yeah, it's still good. Forms. Shout out to that guy who Sam said wanted to learn about this deck. Hopefully he will fire you the video or tell you to watch it. If you do, like, comment, subscribe and tell your friends. We should be kicking up a little bit now. We've been a bit stop-start, but we've got a bunch of content done today, so it's on the editors. I am so tangled up. So, watch the short. It didn't have all the additional context, and I couldn't shout this video out in it, but do that. Watch all the other videos. Check the streams out, they're fun. Watch Moz's videos that will be coming out. He's doing some fun stuff with Dino, as always, and some other decks for a change, actually. Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, hit the bell icon, do all that good stuff, and let's change the subject, people. I am leaving.